Gallagher is a veteran of incinerator fights. She comes from Frederick County, where she was part of the coalition that was able to throw off a proposed incinerator for Frederick and Carroll counties. A graphic designer by trade, she is an advocate by choice. She has lived 30 years in the county of Frederick and started to get involved in this work back in 2006. And the fact that she is still here means that she is still fighting. She is the president of the Frederick Zero Waste Alliance, and we are so excited to have her here tonight.
Greetings. As Emily said, my name is Patrice Gallagher, and I'm president of the Frederick Zero Waste Alliance in Frederick. I really want to thank you for the chance to speak, and thank you so very much for prioritizing bills to remove incineration from the RPS. Subsidizing incineration does not make sense from an environmental, climate, or fiscal perspective. My county, Frederick, partnering with Carroll County, came very close to building a new incinerator for our waste several years ago. I'm going to tell you a brief story about citizens who hung in there and fought against this incinerator project for 8 long years. But I'm sure this is not surprising to you. I do not need to tell this crowd that environmental activists never, ever give up.
Woo! Yeah.
We began as a very small group of citizens with help from the Institute for Local Self-Reliance and Energy Justice Network. We educated ourselves about incineration. We learned the many, many alternatives to incineration that so many other communities around the world are using. We began to show up at county hearings and meetings. We organized educational events for the public. We set up the No Incinerator Alliance and joined with wonderful citizen activists in Carroll County who formed Waste Not Carroll. Over the years, we organized a small army of people in both counties to post thousands of yard signs and bumper stickers, to write dozens of letters to the editor, to distribute 30,000 door hangers, to fund full-page ads during election cycles, to submit more than 2,000 comments to the Maryland Department of Environment, and to analyze the contract and the financial repercussions of the incinerator project, which produced key revelations. I cannot even remember how many hearings we attended over the years. Sometimes the county or permitting officials were forced to hold 2 hearings because the rooms were not big enough. There were hundreds of people who wanted to attend and show their opposition to the project. In the end, after 8 years, we won our battle. Carroll County's elected officials voted to leave the project in April of 2014. Frederick voted to get out in November of 2014. We celebrated with a huge party, of course, and we changed our name from the No Incinerator Alliance to Frederick Zero Waste Alliance. It was such a relief. I certainly would not want any other community to have to go through such an intense effort fighting incineration. Subsidizing incineration makes it more likely that Maryland communities will have to continue to fight. When opposing incineration, it's common to be asked, okay, what'll we do instead? We learned that there are lots of better alternatives to incineration for waste management, which is actually more accurately called resource management, since much of the material we call waste can actually be repurposed, reused, recycled, or composted. And now Frederick is on that path. In 2015, our new Frederick County Executive, Jan Gardner, instituted a process called What's Next to figure out what Frederick County should do now that incineration was off the table. 10 citizens, including several of our Zero Waste Alliance members, were named to a steering committee and held a year-long series of forums. We got input from citizens about how we should best divert material away from the landfill. The committee found that the most promising immediate action would be to begin a countywide organics collection and composting program, since waste sorts have shown that 30 to 40% of the material we landfill is organic. At this moment, gears are moving in Frederick toward pilot programs and public education, and eventually to a robust diversion of organics from landfilling. This includes the added tremendous benefit of producing compost to amend our soil on farms and elsewhere. Now Frederick has a startup small business, Key City Compost, that collects food waste from households who sign up with them for a monthly fee. Key City is also in the midst of building the first commercial composting facility in Frederick, which will allow the county to institute more and more organics diversion from institutions and households in coming years. Meanwhile, citizen activists have taken the lead on one of the county's goals to begin organics diversion in Frederick County Public Schools. The program is called Lunch Out of Landfills. Starting with mainly elementary age kids in 12 pilot schools, the kids collect the statistics, and it shows that with some education and a little bit of oversight, they will divert 80% or more of their cafeteria waste from the landfill.
Wow.
80%. While I would like to see Frederick County move more quickly towards zero waste goals, we're on the right track. And key thing, with no incinerator to feed and pay for, we have the flexibility to try some things, do pilots, ramp up the work that works well. Remember, incineration locks us into one long-term, expensive way to manage our material resources, when in this ever-changing world, flexibility is the name of the game. I have a wonderful irony to end my story. Last year, Frederick County built the Ballinger-McKinney Solar Project, a 5-acre, 1.3 megawatt solar array. The project will save Frederick County over $100,000 every year. And it is built right on the spot originally designated for the Frederick Carroll incinerator.